everyone! I had mentioned in my February favorites that I have been loving my Beauty Blender, and I also mentioned that a few years back I bought the Ulta version of this that everyone was saying was a dupe, and I absolutely hated it, and it kind of steered me away from wanting to try the actual Beauty Blender because I thought, well, if I hated that so much and everyone said it was so similar, why would I spend $20 on this guy if I'm not going to like it? Well, after a few years later, I decided that I was going to give it a shot. I ordered this off of Amazon. It actually came in a 2-pack with the blender cleanser, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. Everybody loves it. Let's just see what the hype is about. So when I went back home this past January, I have found this guy, and this is the Ulta version of the Beauty Blender, or I forget what they call it. I think they might just call it like a beauty sponge or something, but this is what it looks like. So the shape of it is obviously very different, and the color is different as well, and that's not a big deal at all. The color has nothing to do with anything, and the shape of it is a little bit different, but honestly it's not a bad shape. I actually thought this was nice because it had a little bit of like a grip in the middle that you could hold on to, and you can use the bottom end to stipple. You can use this pointed end to get into like little crevices and whatnot, where it's very similar because it has like the rounded bottom, pointed end. It just doesn't have the little crease in the middle, which not a huge deal. So when I bought this, I had heard so many great things about it, that this was like a cheaper version of the Beauty Blender, and everybody raved so much about the Beauty Blender. I thought, I really want to try it, but it's like $20 for a makeup sponge. I don't know if I'm gonna like. So when I found out that Ulta had a similar product, and this was I think $5 when I bought it, I'm not sure how much it is now, this was a while ago, I decided to purchase it, and I thought $5 is a lot better of a risk than $20. I had seen a lot of application videos for the Beauty Blender, and I know that you're supposed to use this wet, run it under hot water, wring it out, and then use it to apply your foundation. So when I got this, I knew exactly how to use it, and just for size comparison, this is the actual Beauty Blender and this is the Ulta sponge, and you can see they are pretty much about the same size, just a very different shape, but they're about the same like lengthwise. So just to show you guys, these are both completely dry. This is what the Beauty Blender looks like when it's wet. So it did come in a 2-pack, so this is the one that I've been using. This is completely brand new, so you can see the size difference. It almost like doubles in size. The color of this is a little bit lighter than this because I have used it a while and I have washed it, and some of the pink has gone away, but again, the color has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't transfer or anything like that, so don't worry, you won't have like a pink face. But just to give you guys a size comparison, this is a wet Beauty Blender and this is a dry one. So I have a glass of water here and I have my Ulta Beauty sponge, and you're supposed to wet these sponges so that it doesn't absorb all your liquid foundation, and it just makes it a lot easier to apply. It becomes more like spongy and really easy to like bounce on your face. So I just want to show you guys what the Ulta sponge looks like when it's immersed in water. So here we go. I'm going to put the Ulta sponge in the water.
I'm going to squeeze a little bit, make sure that the water's getting into the sponge. I'm squeezing.
So it's pretty much soaked with water right now, and I'm going to wring it out. Whoa. I'm spilling. I'm just going to take a towel and I'm going to wring it out. This is exactly how I do it with my Beauty Blender. I run it under warm water, I wring it out, and I wring it out again in a towel to absorb any extra water. This is essentially a damp Ulta beauty sponge, and I'm going to show you this in comparison to the damp Beauty Blender. And you can see size comparison wise, the Beauty Blender is a lot bigger than the Ulta beauty sponge. And I'm going to grab my dry Beauty Blender just so you guys can see the difference as well. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the regular dry Beauty Blender is pretty much still the same size as the damp Ulta beauty sponge. That's one of the main reasons why this is so different. The Ulta beauty sponge is not as absorbent as the Beauty Blender. I'd seen so many videos on people using the Beauty Blender, and everybody said, oh, when you get it wet, it like grows and expands to double its size. And when I got this and I ran it underwater, I was like, it's not growing, like it's not doing anything like the Beauty Blender does. So I was like, okay, maybe that's okay, I can still use this. Now the second difference between the two is the texture of it. And as you can see, this is the Beauty Blender, and it's really, really spongy. It's actually very, very soft. It's really smooth. It's really, really nice and easy to work with. And this is the Ulta sponge, and it's definitely a lot thicker. It's a lot firmer. It's not as bouncy. It's not as soft. It's still pretty smooth, but but it's definitely a completely different texture. And this is a wet beauty blender. As you can see, it's even more spongy when it's wet than when it is dry, and it's just so cute.
It reminds you of like a pink little flubber, like look, cute little like spongy pink guy. And this one, not so much.
This takes very little effort to bounce on your face. It almost like naturally wants to bounce back. Like when you press it on your skin, it just naturally like wants to like go the other way. So it makes it really easy to stipple on your foundation. It applies your makeup on beautifully, and I love it. There are no harsh edges. You can just use it. You can roll your foundation. I like to bounce and roll, and it's just super nice. It's really, really soft. It feels good on your face. This one does not feel so nice. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know, but this one's definitely louder. It feels like I'm just kind of bouncing like a solid item on my face, whereas this one's definitely very, very soft and pliable and smushy, and this one's just more solid. And that, I think, is the biggest drawback to this. It doesn't bounce. It's really hard to apply. It just takes so much effort, and I just don't like just how it feels. So overall, they're just completely different products. They're made of completely different materials, and I think that if you're really looking to try the Beauty Blender and you're kind of considering the Ulta one as an alternative, in my opinion, they're completely different. They're not even in the same ballpark. Like, this is just a regular like makeup sponge, and this is a Beauty Blender. It's soft and smushy. I love to save money, and I was really hoping that they weren't going to be that different, just because $20 for a makeup sponge is a lot of money. It's a sponge. It's not going to last you forever. It will eventually like fall apart. So I was like, I don't know, but in all honesty, there's no comparison. This one wins hands down. Now, I haven't tried every dupe out there. This is the only one, and honestly, I'm not that inclined to try other ones just because I like this one so much, and I'm assuming the other ones aren't gonna like stack up to this, but who knows, maybe I'll give in and I'll try some other ones and let you guys know what I think. But I know that Sonia Kashuk makes one. You can get that at Target. Eve Pearl recently came out with her own kind of beauty blender, except that one's still pretty pricey. I think that one's around like $20 too, which is still expensive. So I wouldn't necessarily consider that like a comparable like cheap alternative, because they're pretty much the same price. I know some other brands have now come out with other ones. I heard somewhere also that Beauty Blender was going to make a cheaper version that you could get like at a drugstore, and I'm not sure exactly if that's true or when that's happening, but if they do, I think that would be really cool. So those are my opinions on the makeup sponges. Let me know if you've tried either one of these, or if you've tried both of them and what your experiences are. If I had never purchased the Beauty Blender and this was the only thing I had, and this is what my idea of the Beauty Blender was, honestly, I would say you guys are all crazy, all of you Beauty Blender fanatics. Like, this is not very good, but the actual Beauty Blender is worth the hype in my opinion. So yeah, let me know. I hope this comparison review was helpful, and if you guys have any other questions, I will try my best to answer them. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.